Welcome back to round 4 of the Champions Cup. Yes, it's round 4, but let's talk about round 3. Look at Goode though, he's wearing a shirt. Look at him. Look at me. Look at you.
Look at you. Well, round 3 for the English clubs was messy, wasn't it?
Messy.
As messy as you having your shirt hanging out and not ironed. But
look, let's go back there. The reason why, this is the same shirt as I wore last time, but I had the jacket on, but I thought I can't wear the same outfit as before. No iron. Mate, it's been snowing.
Have you got any more clothes?
It's been snowing, mate. I have not got access to the wardrobe. It snows in the Cotswold in the countryside.
So we go, round 3 of Europe.
How bad?
A quick review of that. English clubs, bury your head in the sand. That was awful. Every English club lost. Some huge defeats. Your team, Saracens, absolutely embarrassed at home by Claremont. There's nothing you can say, Jim. Overpowered, out-muscled. It's a big issue for Saracens. 3 big players missing for them. 1, Billy Vunipola. 2, Mario Itoje. 3, Jim Hamilton's retired. Obviously, Leicester go over to Munster.
Mate, let's not just paper over that. The game got moved. The game got moved, Goode.
It's still the same.
Yeah,
it's a rugby pitch on a Monday at home, Allianz Park. Those Claremont players are staying in a 1-star hotel near Luton.
They were annoyed, that's why.
Yeah, they're in a 1-star. Your boys in their houses, home comforts, all that stuff. And they got absolutely destroyed physically. I've never seen a Saracens team in the last 5, 6, 7 years be out-muscled as convincingly as that. It was a shambles.
We'll maybe come on to that. What about Wasps?
Yeah,
How bad were Wasps?
Well, we got an attacking bonus point out in La Rochelle.
Okay, all right,
La Rochelle, that's the best game of rugby in terms of an attacking performance I've seen from
why
any
La
team.
Rochelle so good? Man, I only watched the highlights.
They were unbelievable. Bottier at 7, he's phenomenal. Victor Vito, the All Black number 8, World Cup winning number 8, he was outstanding. Brock James around the show. They're just so well coached in terms of their offloading game. They understand they're trying to keep the ball alive all the time. They're power runners. Danny Prizzo, loosehead prop.
Has he been to prison?
He hasn't been to prison, but he was phenomenal. An absolute machine. And those guys just took Wasp to the cleaners. But Wasp got 4 tries. They actually scored 5, so they get the attacking bonus point. And it's something to sort of hang their hat on for this week. If they can beat La Rochelle at home.
It's a big if.
It's a big if. If they can beat La Rochelle at home, they could still qualify.
Exactly. Bath lost against Toulon. Maybe shouldn't have. I thought Toulon were poor against it. Bath lost. Quins lost at home to Ulster.
Yeah, Quins are shambles in Europe this year. Started out, they got absolutely smashed by Wasps in round 2. They lost at home, got hammered by La Rochelle in round 1. Round 3, they've gone and lost at home to Ulster. They didn't look like they didn't want to be there. It was embarrassing for the club, and they're out of Europe, and they need to have a big think about how they approach that tournament in the future if they qualify for it next year.
And Leicester as well.
Leicester got absolutely humbled over in Munster.
Let's not talk anymore because
no,
we love
we'll
Leicester.
leave that. We'll leave that.
Yeah.
Big game of the weekend, though, was probably Exeter losing at home to Leinster.
Surprised that?
Yeah, Exeter.
Well, maybe not surprised, but...
Well, Leinster are a very good team, but Exeter unbeaten at home in nearly a year. So I didn't expect them to lose that game. I thought it'd be close, as I predicted. I predicted Exeter to beat Leinster, and as you know, people, I was wrong again. But it's round 4, Jim.
It is.
Let's start off with your ACCA. Who have you gone for?
We need to get into it. So I've gone for... I found it difficult. I found it difficult this week because last week threw me.
It did.
I didn't see a lot of them games coming.
No.
But the first one that I've gone, I probably did see this one coming. I thought Ulster might beat Quins at the Stoop. They did. So I've gone for Ulster on the return fixture to win this. I tweeted yesterday, I've got an affiliation to Ulster.
Why?
I don't know why.
I
just like them.
You've had a couple of good nights in Belfast.
Couple of great nights, exactly. But Quins, they're bottom of Pool 1, and they got smashed. Ulster now up to second. It's a must-win game for them. Ravenhill, but it's not called Ravenhill now. It's called the King
Power Stadium.
It's Belfast. They're in Belfast.
That one.
They're in Belfast and
Kingspan.
Kingspan.
There we go.
Kingspan. King's Home.
Kingspan.
Kingspan. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyway, Ulster at home. It's a great place to go and play. Quins.
Shambles.
Mate, we didn't even mention Northampton. I was going to say they're as bad as Northampton.
Yeah,
they're not.
They're
not. Let's not talk about Northampton. Well, we can do maybe. So I've gone for Ulster to beat Quins. Yeah, it'd be an amazing game, I'm sure.
I think it will.
Next one. I would have picked this one either way, but I've gone for Leinster to beat Exeter.
Yep.
Didn't see that coming. We just mentioned it. Didn't see Exeter losing at home. Leinster, for me, the Champion Cup comes around, the European Cup. They're a big team. Again, a must-win game. This second game, as we know, whoever wins these 2 games will pick the most points out is likely going to top their group and move forward. Go on.
I was going to say, it's a really interesting group, actually, isn't it? Obviously, Montpellier got the win over Glasgow, at Glasgow as well.
Surprised I picked Glasgow to win.
You did, so that brings them back into the mix. But I've got a sneaky suspicion Exeter are going to be hurting after last weekend, and they're going to bounce back. It's going to be a great game over in Dublin. Leinster are the form team in Europe at the minute. They've got some unbelievable international quality players. Johnny Sexton was outstanding.
Yeah.
And you talk about their big game players. They're all Ireland internationals. So they're coming over to Exeter and dominated. They're going back to Dublin. They'll be expected to win, but I think Exeter will have a few things up their sleeve trying to get the victory.
I do, definitely. This one, easy pickings, mate.
Easy pickings.
Easy pickings. I've gone for Ospreys to beat the woeful. They've sacked the coach.
They've got rid of their
That's
coach.
how bad they are. Mid-season, they sacked the coach. They had to. I was shocked at how bad Northampton were. Ospreys are bottom of their conference. It doesn't matter because we saw Ospreys put a good performance in against Saracens at Allianz Park a couple of rounds ago. But wowies. Wow-woo-weezers, mate.
Northampton, absolute shambles. What were they, 30-odd points down at one point at home?
And they nearly came back, but it's a foregone conclusion. They're winning the game. I just don't know what's happening there.
It's a place where apparently the players aren't particularly happy. Jim Mallander's left this week. For me, I was surprised it was just Jim Mallander that left. Dorian West is part of that coaching setup as well, and Northampton fans crying out for him to leave as well. So really tough times. I was advocating last week that they need to get some different eyes into the club, and then Jim Mallander gets sacked. So people listen to us.
They did.
It's just what we do.
Exactly, and I think Ospreys, like we mentioned, they are on a run now, if you like, in Europe. This group's really interesting, a really interesting group. And that brings me on to the next game. Clermont against Saracens.
You're going for Clermont, obviously, because Clermont absolutely destroyed Saracens last weekend, didn't they?
I changed it.
You told me you were going for Clermont.
I changed it at the 11th hour. I told you last week I was going for Clermont. I thought the Clermont would win this week, but they can't. If Saracens are to progress, Clermont cannot win this game, please. Could you imagine?
Well, I can, yeah, because
I can't.
Saracens were feeble on Monday night. Yes, it got rearranged, but they got out-muscled. Their scrum destroyed. Will Skelton in the second row, he's meant to be 24 stone. He's 24 stone of absolutely nothing.
He made a few mistakes. He was still good. Owen Farrell was quiet. Brad Barrett was the one for me.
Well, your two key guys that go off. Brad Barrett goes off early, so does Richard Wigglesworth. They're two key controllers. And Farrell, to be fair, looked like he wasn't too interested. He was just stood delivering passes, not really attacking the gain line. And they lost that physical battle, which Saracens don't do very often. No tougher arse, though, than going to the Stade Marcel Michelin.
What do you think?
I think Clermont are going to win this again by a good 10, 15 points.
No, you don't.
Still no Itoje.
Oh, no.
Still no Vunipola. Hamilton's retired. Brad Barrett's out, possibly with concussion. Richard Wigglesworth gone as well with an ankle injury. It is a crisis for Saracens, and this could be Europe gone.
Well, this is the thing. I think this is the turning point of the Saracen season. If and when they turn around this game on Sunday, they're contenders again. But at the minute, from what we saw, they're not.
Ultimately, I think Saracens can afford to lose and still qualify because they'll play Northampton at home, which will be a 5-pointer,
and Ospreys
away. And they'll know, they might have a couple of boys back by then, they'll know they can go there and win and qualify as runner-up. But Clermont, for me, are going to win that by 15 points.
Hope not. Okay, so summary of my ACCAs for the weekend. Ulster to beat Quins, Leinster to beat Exeter, Ospreys to smash Saints. And I changed it. I had to.
You've got to go with your boys.
You've got to go with your club, and I think they will. I think they've got to. Sarries to beat Clermont.
There we go. It's a tough one. I don't think that's coming in again.
I bet you've not gone tough, have you?
I have gone tough, actually. I've gone really tough. I've started off. I agree with you on my first one. Ulster to beat Quins.
That's not tough.
Over at the Kingspan Stadium. I'm just copying you, Jim.
Is it Ravenhill or Kingspan?
It's Kingspan. It used to be Ravenhill, now it's Kingspan. Yeah, so Ulster on form. Great European victory away from home. Quins, some serious questions there. Can they bounce back? They're only playing for pride in this competition now, which, when you've got players looking forward to Christmas, looking forward to the big game that Quins have in the Premiership, I think they'll go there and fold, and Ulster will win that comfortably. Moving on, my second game, Montpellier to beat Glasgow. And what a game this was at the weekend. Glasgow, everyone talks about them in the Pro 14, unbeaten for however many games. You come to the big boys, come to Europe, no Stuart Hogg. And Montpellier, the big boys of Montpellier, went up to Scotland, Scotstoun, that's how you say it. Scotstoun is how you say it. And took the 5 points away, didn't they? And now going back, you talk about tough places to go. Clermont, obviously very tough for Saracens. Montpellier, the Outrad Stadium, your old club, Jim, is now a tough place to go as well. And they're in some good form. They've got Cruden at 10, a fantastic operator.
Pickham was good, of course.
Pickham was very good. Bismarck Duplessis played well as well as at hooker. It's going to be a very tough ask for Glasgow. They talked about having already lost to Exeter early on in the group, didn't they? So are they out? Still a very, very minute chance, but go to Montpellier is very tough. I can't remember the last time they got beaten there. In the French top 14, Exeter did go to Montpellier and win, but Montpellier chomping at the bit. They need 5 points. They'll get it against Glasgow, so I'm going with that one.
Yeah, the Vern Cotter effect.
We will, yeah. And then we're staying in France. We're going Racing 92 to beat Cast.
Oh, I don't know enough about these, Goode.
Well, yes.
You know about the French.
I do
You
know
look
about the French. I'm very French sometimes. Comment ça va, Jim?
Moi aussi.
What? No, you're supposed to say ça va bien, monsieur.
ça va bien, monsieur.
Okay, well,
monsieur.
We'll give him a lesson. Racing 92 at home. This game was pretty tight at the weekend.
Carter back or not?
No, Carter not back. Not fit, not playing. But they've got the likes of Pat Lambie, South African fly half, playing really well. Remy Tallez actually played 10 for Racing 92 at Cast at the weekend. Didn't play very well at all. And Racing chucked the game away. Teddy Thomas, the winger, clean through, drops it over the try line. Score that, you win the game. And ultimately it came down to a kicking battle. But Cast don't travel very well away from home. Although, having said that, their last away game in the top 14, they beat Toulouse. We're going very heavy here, talking about stats and facts. But Racing 92, at their new home stadium, I expect them to bounce back. It looks amazing. Yeah. Looks amazing. So I'm going to go with them, a load of money. Going with them to beat Cast. And then finally, Bath playing Toulon. I'm going to go with Bath to beat Toulon. Obviously, they ran them close at the weekend. Perhaps should have won over at the Stade Félix Mayol. Chris Ashton had an absolute shocker.
What about that kick?
He's kicked it backwards and gifted Jonathan Joseph a try. The only thing for Bath, reports this week have come out that Toby Faletau is out for a good 16 weeks. So he's out for a long time. He's a talisman for them. But I just believe Bath at the Rec, they got the losing bonus point. Should have beaten Toulon. They need to win that game to stay in contention in the group. And I think they'll win.
On est vu. On est vu.
On est vu.
We will see. How do you say see in French?
On est vu.
Is it?
Anyway, so let's recap my ACCAs. I'm going Ulster to beat Quins, Montpellier to beat Glasgow, Racing to beat Cast, and Bath to beat Toulon.
Easy, 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 easy.
No, I don't think so. We'll see.
And that's it. That's our ACCAs for the most important week maybe in the Champions Cup in round 4.